Hello, everybody. This is Bowie Abiola at Raise Your Game Esports, and today we have a special guest. Today we have Jessica Kitchen. She's the vice president of Raise Your Game Esports, and she has an MBA and an MPA. How are you today, Jessica?
I'm great, thanks. Glad to be here.
Awesome, awesome. So, can you talk about yourself and how you got started on your path to getting an MBA and MPA up until right now? So, like from your humble beginnings till right now, can you just talk about that? Where the viewers and I, we love to hear your story.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a problem. Um, July 26th, 1987, I was born. Oh, just kidding. So I started college as an international relations and Spanish dual major with ambitions to travel the world and be like ambassador and work for the government and do all these things. But between my freshman and sophomore year, I lost my mom, and it kind of changed my perspective a bit. And so I ended up changing my majors to psychology and criminal justice, and that's what I graduated undergrad with. Unfortunately, when I graduated is kind of when the economy was in the gutter. And so I had a really difficult time finding a job. Okay? All the while, in college is really when I started playing PC games and getting into gaming pretty hardcore. But that's another story. Um, so I was having a hard time finding a job, and so I decided to go back to school because what else am I going to do? So I went back to school for my master's in business administration, and I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot. And my advisor's like, well, if you take 6 extra classes, you can get a master's in public administration as well. So I went ahead and did that. And then on top of that, I also completed a graduate certificate in entrepreneurship. So that's kind of what got me to where I am currently, at least educationally. And it's been in the past like 3 years that I've really been um, active in watching Twitch and playing console as well as some PC games. Um, and just getting really into esports. Like, I mean, we were up pretty late last night watching the KT Rolster game um, with Invictus Gaming for the League of Legends Worlds competition, and we've been following it pretty steadfastly. Like, we are big Cloud9 fans. Well, at least my husband is, and I was really pulling for 100 Thieves, but they kind of got cut early. But
Mm.
since then, I've worked in marketing for the last year and a half, and I've taught community college business and psychology courses, as well as career guidance courses for the past 6, almost 7 years. And I absolutely love it. And so, when I saw information about Raise Your Game Esports, I was very intrigued and learning everything that they're doing in education and just what their plans are for business and for the future of esports and everything. I wanted to be a part of it. And, so I'm so happy to be vice president, be able to, get my hands into like every aspect of the company and kind of, change the future as we know it for the esports community.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you mentioned that you got into PC gaming in college and university, and also you said that you were a diehard Cloud9 fan. Is that correct?
Yeah, my husband is a huge Cloud9 fan, and so, to support him, I support Cloud9 as well.
Awesome. Can you just talk about like your gaming and esports, like just what got you into it? Like how was like what was your first game you played in college? Like how did you get into it in college, and then like how you and your husband got into esports? Can you talk about that too? That sounds so interesting.
Yeah, so in college, I Oh my gosh. I don't quite recall who got me into it. I think I just downloaded it and started playing it, but it was called Nine Dragons and it was a free to play online MMORPG. And it was really fun. It was like a grind, though. You just grind and grind and grind and really never get anywhere. Right. So it sucks your soul.
I know that feeling.
Right. And then, of course, I had microtransactions. So it expensively sucked your soul.
Mm.
Um, and I played that for many years, and even though it was like it was trash by the time I ended, um, I had put so much money and time and effort into that game. So I'm like, okay, I'll try some other games. So some other games that I did on the PC, because this is when I actually had a PC and not um, was when Conan first came out, Age of Conan. And then I tried WoW and I really hated WoW, not gonna lie.
What did you hate about
Also,
WoW?
you know, people just weren't that friendly and talkative. And I play games for like the community aspect, for the who's gonna talk to me and like communicate and do things with me. I'm not a person that enjoys video games by myself.
I see.
If I'm, yeah, if I'm playing something, it has to be a multiplayer game, and there usually has to be an element of PvP because that's really what I enjoy. And yeah, if I'm just playing solo, I lose interest very fast.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling. And I remember back in like 2013, 24, no, it was 2014, 2015, a new game came out on PS4 and PS4 just came out that year. It was Destiny. Do you know Destiny?
Absolutely. So Destiny is really what got me into console gaming, actually. Um, so previously, like I had given up PC. Like I gave my computer to my brother and only had a laptop for school and whatnot.
Mm.
And I'm like, I'm never playing PC games ever again.
Was it because of WoW that you quit PC gaming?
No, it's just it was life sucking, no matter what game it was.
Oh,
You know,
like
MMOs are like, there's no end game,
oh,
right?
there's
There's
no end
no
game.
finish something. It's an ongoing, constant grind. And so I'm like, I don't want to be a part of it.
Oh, I see, I see.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I mean, we had gotten an Xbox to play Grand Theft Auto 5. It was near like when Grand Theft Auto 5 first came out. And I'm like, oh, this is fun. I like this. This is cool. That was like truly my first Xbox experience. Like, I grew up with Nintendo and Super Nintendo and N64 and those things, but that kind of fell off when I went to PC. And so I hadn't really played Xbox. And we got an Xbox to play Grand Theft Auto, and I enjoyed it. And then friends convinced me to buy Destiny. And oh my gosh, I bought Destiny right after the Dark Below dropped. So that was like 3 months after the game dropped itself. And I was on winter vacation from working, from teaching. So I just had nothing but time, and I think I played that game like 2 weeks straight.
I see. I see. And oh my god, when Destiny came out, um I played that game religiously for a year. Like that entire year, 2014, 2015. It was great if you had friends, and that's what you were looking for, that camaraderie, that social interaction in gaming, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I met so many people that are still my friends through Destiny. And it's funny because when everyone started like leaving Destiny and I'm like, okay, I have no one to play with now. What am I gonna do? Um, I also came into like some financial hardship because I wasn't offered summer classes. And for multiple years up to that point, I had summer classes. And that's one of the realities of being an adjunct professor is that you're not given classes regularly. It's kind of hit or miss whether you get classes. And so I'm like, how am I going to make money? And so I read an article about streaming video games. And I'm like, wait, people make money doing this? And I started going on Twitch and I started seeking out women who were streamers and just chatting with them and learning about them. And I'm like, okay, I'll give this a try. It wasn't a wholehearted attempt.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it for, like a month or so. And I got pretty good success in that month. But um, I kind of stopped because I got another job and I started teaching again. And a lot of, real life things came up and I just kind of pushed it to the side. And that's really what got me into Twitch. And ever since then, like I had never been on Twitch before I really started investigating like how people stream and make money, building communities and interacting with people. And like since then, I've been super active on Twitch. I moderate multiple channels. I almost constantly have a Twitch channel playing. And I have a lot of friends that I support. And through that support, one of my friends who's a partnered Twitch streamer needed to move out of New York City. And I'm like, hey, I have a spare room. So he moved cross country to, get out of New York City and continue pursuing his full time streaming career. And, it's really great to attend all the different events and meet the people that you've interacted with so much online. It's really a great community.
Yes, that was very well said. And how does one get become a full time Twitch partner?
They've made it a lot easier since when I guess not easier, just more streamlined since I began. Because before, um, to become a Twitch streamer, you really had to just grind and grind and grind, kind of get noticed and submit your application and hope that they thought your community and your channel were worth partnering. But now they have a great step system set up where you become an affiliate, and that's after streaming so many hours, getting so many followers, and on multiple days. And the same thing is for a Twitch partner as well. You have to stream for so many days in a 30-day period, so many hours in a 30-day period, have a certain following and concurrent viewer count. And once you reach that, you can submit your application and they'll review your channel. And, if you are a positive asset to the Twitch community, then partnership is right around the corner. So, definitely to anyone wanting to become a Twitch streamer, you really want to focus on who you are and what kind of community you want to build, because a Twitch channel is a community and you need to stay consistent with your brand identity because your community is your brand. It's, who you are and what you represent. And that's what people get attracted to, just like any television channel or TV show or anything like that. People have their favorites. And it's because of what is offered there. It's because of the interaction and the quality or the content that's being created or the games that are being played. And once you have, a pretty thriving community, no matter what game you play, the same people will stick with you because of you, your personality, your actual channel, your interaction. So it's interesting to kind of watch that life cycle and watch people, start at their humble beginning as, Twitch affiliate and work their way up to a Twitch partner. And it's completely accessible to anyone who really wants to put the work and the effort into it.
Yes, absolutely. Hard work pays off. And who's your favorite Twitch streamer?
Oh man, my favorite. I really, really love She Snaps. I don't know if you've heard of her, but she focuses a lot on mental health awareness and creating a positive space for people and really giving people advice on like pursuing their dreams and their goals and, their ambition and bettering themselves. And I'm like, this is such a great platform to really do good in the world. And she's really pursuing that. And so I love the positivity in her stream at all times.
That's a positive message. Like anybody who wants to pursue your dreams, you now have another resource for help on pursuing your dreams. To all the viewers listening, you've heard it right here from Jessica.
Absolutely.
And you were talking about the esports aspects about Cloud9. So you've talked about your gaming endeavor and gaming passion. So how did you translate that over into esports?
Yeah, my when I met my husband, he convinced me really to start playing League of Legends, and I had never played it before. And I didn't even know what to expect. I had never even played a game like that before. Um, and we started playing, and it was great because it helped like our relationship blossom, but learning the actual strategy and learning the competitive aspect of it and seeing this kind of world through the eyes of Twitter and Twitch and how that all works. He's like, hey, we're doing a fantasy draft for League of Legends for, the split. Would you like to participate? And I'm like, well, I don't even know what that means. And he explained it and I'm like, oh, sure, absolutely. And so, I blindly went in and chose my characters as it was my turn and had no clue what I was doing. And then I'm like, okay, so how do we win? And he's like, well, the games each week you watch them and whatever your players score in their games is how you score points. And I'm like, oh, cool. So then I started watching every single weekend and I'm like, oh, we can't miss this game, and I started getting really into watching it. And that was before we were married. And so as part of like I mean, you don't even necessarily call it a bachelor party, but just to kind of celebrate his impending union, his best friend bought he and I tickets to the League of Legends finals down in Oakland. And we actually got to go together and experience it in person. And we met Cloud9 and got our pictures taken with them. And it was really great. I mean, like I met Nadeshot, CEO of 100 Thieves and big YouTube and Twitch streamer, and it really was amazing. And I had in my marketing role been pushing us to pursue esports, at least the demographic of individuals, the niche of esports in our offerings. And it has that's been the last year and a half that I've been doing that, and it's really just morphed incredibly. And I realized that I was so passionate about this world, this community, the competitive nature of things, uh, the diversity that's present as well, because it's all over the world. I mean, there are people competing in like every country practically. And, that unification is really what we need in the world right now. And being a part of that was something that I became super passionate about over the last year and a half. So I've been reading articles and writing articles and researching and watching the market trends. And, I've watched the whole growth of Fortnite and the whole growth of Ninja, and just have seen, these personalities that are on Twitch or on YouTube getting pulled into like the mainstream entertainment world. And it's fascinating. And being a long term student, as I will be finishing my PhD next year, um, being a long term student, the data, the information, research, all this, wealth of information at our fingertips, thank you, internet, is so fascinating because we're seeing a complete revolution that people don't even really know and people don't quite understand yet. And it's growing so rapidly.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. And all these platforms like Twitch, YouTube, even Facebook, and also other social media platforms, they're it's starting to show because like I know I have a lot of friends who don't watch traditional television anymore. It's all online.
Yeah, I got rid of my cable subscription because I'm like, dude, number one, I don't have time to fit myself into the television schedule to watch the things that I want to watch. And two, like when I did have something on, it was always a Twitch channel. So
Hmm.
there was no point anymore.
And we have smartphones and computers as well.
Yes.
Hmm. And so, have you played? So you've played League of Legends. You've played World of Warcraft. Can you just list off all the games you just played? Like this is awesome.
Oh, man. I don't know that I'll recall all of them.
Or your favorite
um,
ones?
Favorite one. Well, I mean, it all started with Nine Dragons.
Hmm.
Um, and right now, personally, as a wedding gift, um, was given Call of Duty 4. And so I just started playing that yesterday. And that's really fun, although I'm really bad at it.
Mm,
So,
I see. And for the Xbox, right?
yeah, on Xbox.
Beautiful.
Um, yeah, but I have a PlayStation as well. It's just, I was playing Destiny on PlayStation and Xbox. And then Destiny 2 came out, and I wasn't a big fan of Destiny 2 when it first came out. Right now, it's a lot better, but it's still not the same feel that Destiny 1
Yeah.
had. And so that's disappointing.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
playing so much Destiny. It was ridiculous. It was huge.
yeah, no, it was such a huge part of my life at that point.
Hmm.
um, But yeah, I mean, I played WoW, but I didn't like it. I played Perfect World and Forsaken World, which were free games. Age of Conan I really liked, but um, the person that I was playing with kind of stopped playing, so therefore I stopped playing. Um, on Xbox, I've played a few other free games. I tried Fortnite like once, but there's like way too much to remember with
Mm.
the buttons and everything. I was like, oh no, I put the wrong piece up. Oh no, I don't know what I'm doing.
Have you played Overwatch before?
I have not. I have watched it a little bit, but I have not played it.
Oh, it's so much fun. It's a lot of fun. It
Is
won.
it?
Yeah, it won Game of the Year for 2016.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I read an article about that, and I've watched the esports world blow up, and like I've researched, the cost of Overwatch um position, like to be able to have a team in the league, um, and kind of who are the players in that, how many teams are, able to be in the league and worldwide. And it's super fascinating to watch and to see all the licensing rights that come out and all of the viewership that happens. And, it's such a big world, and there's so much potential with esports. There's so much potential. I mean, even now they're integrating more real in-person sports, traditional sports into the esports world. I mean, we've watched it with Madden and NBA 2K and NHL and FIFA and all of these things. And now there's even cycling games that are being converted into esports games where they have competitions that are all indoors and they're on a machine that is legitimate cycling and making them go up and down hills. And there's a CBR World Cup for the cycling that's incredibly fascinating because it's like, wait, games, you're supposed to be sitting and not in this case. Like you're legitimately doing the work.
Nice. Now that's beautiful. It's more interactive and engaging, and that's what we want in esports.
Absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful. And so you've only traveled to the finals. It was it in Oklahoma. What was that
No,
tournament you
it's in
traveled?
Oakland, California.
Oakland, California.
Yeah.
Do you hope to travel to more tournaments or more conventions? And if so, which ones would you like to travel to in the near future?
Yeah, actually, next week I'll be at TwitchCon, and I went to TwitchCon last year as well. That was really fun. Um, I'd really like to start going to all the PAX games, but also I would like to start going to like esports convention for the business side of things, not necessarily like the entertainment side, but more on the business side. And there's more and more cropping up all the time. There was just one in Vegas that I really wanted to attend, but with work, just gonna happen.
Mm. And okay, so when you say business side, are you talking about the part of the convention where people network and talk about business? Are you talking about that part of the convention?
Right. Well, I mean, there's a lot of esports business conventions that are coming up where, yes, it's mainly a networking event where, endemic and non-endemic brands can meet each other, talk to each other, and see how they might be able to work together. But it's also like the executive side of team, not necessarily the talent, not necessarily the competitive part of esports, but like the behind the scenes part of esports, the where the magic happens, the sponsorship, the affiliate structures, the brand sponsorships, product sponsorships, everything. Kind of where that world comes in. Sponsorship is 60% of all esports um, funding. And so it's a huge part. And really, truly, the best way to go about that is through sponsorship, or I'm sorry, through networking. And, it's at these events that are specifically focused on how to use esports, how to invest in esports, how to become a part of the business community. Instead of focusing on the competitive nature, on like how to become a pro player or how to improve your skills or something like that. This is where like the education is. This is where the brands are, the endemic ones that provide keyboards and mice and all the hardware, software for playing, but also non-endemics like, you know, G Fuel. G Fuel is a non-endemic brand that's really relevant in the space because it's caffeine source, it's a focus, it's, fun.
And it allows players to so that they have their highest potential.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm. And as the vice president of Razor Game Esports, you're a leader. You're an amazing leader. So, what would your advice be to any aspiring leaders, any aspiring future leaders? Like, what would your advice be for someone hoping to be a leader in the future? What would your general advice be?
You know, my favorite quote that I've ever heard through over the past like 12 years where I've really been kind of on this journey um, was that leaders are readers, right? So if you want a leadership position, if you want to be a part of something or to penetrate this market specifically, get into esports in some way, um, you want to read, you want to take in knowledge at all times. You want to stay up to date on the trends because it's such a fast moving marketplace. You want to know the statistics. You want to know what's going on, who's entering the space, who's leaving the space, what's going on. And reading is the best way to do that. But not only on esports centered information, you need to be doing personal development. You need to read personal development books. You need to truly like understand who you are as a person and find your internal power. Like You Are a Badass is a fantastic book. It's so good. It's so empowering. It's worth a read to anyone, truly. Um, and Skill Finder 2.0, another one, that one helps you kind of pinpoint what your leadership skills are, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, everything. And there's so many books like that out in the market that are more general, but truly help develop you as a person and be willing to do things voluntarily. Be willing to do things without any sort of compensation. Be willing to get that experience and prove your value um, before some sort of income or some sort of salary is attached to it. Because a lot of esports is still in flux right now. It's still being developed, it's still being created, it's still being, tested. And there's not many best practices in place in this market yet. And so truly like you're pursuing it now, you're really going to revolutionize it and you're going to be able to help set up those best practices. You're going to be able to help discover what works best. You're going to be able to truly change the future of this market, of this, area, of this industry by being willing to say yes and push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Because as a leader, as an entrepreneur, as somebody who, wants to pursue their dreams or be a part of something bigger, you have to be willing to get uncomfortable.
Yes, and you want to push yourself out of your comfort zone.
Yeah,
And it's the most uncomfortable situations that we see the greatest growth in anything.
absolutely. And it's only through failure that you actually learn, right? When you're
Yeah.
getting everything right all the time, you're getting 100% on every test, you're doing everything right, you're not receiving any criticism, any feedback that's going to develop you into a better person, right?
Right.
It's through the issues that you run into, it's through the problems, it's through the failures that you're able to grow and develop and become better.
Yes, and you've just said the one of the most fundamental stuff about entrepreneurship. That's amazing. That's an amazing insight.
Absolutely.
Yes. And so have you collaborated with anybody before, either in esports or outside of esports? And can you talk about that?
Um, as I mentioned, I not necessarily within like esports world, but if you were to broaden esports to include all platforms in that respect, then yes, like um, currently with I was doing some marketing and we were developing stores for influencers. So we were creating e-commerce stores for influencers and building, their brand merchandise and creating something that really represents them and offering, their community merchandise. And, it's really great to get to learn more about these influencers, these streamers, these partners, these YouTube personalities, you name it, these individuals that have these great social following, and learn about them on a deeper level so that you're able to create something that truly represents them and something that they're really proud of. Um, it This is kind of where I have firsthand experience um, creating and maintaining these stores. And it's great. It's great to see the reach. It's great to see the community, the support that people have for each other in this world. Um, and that's really, what I've collaborated on or participated in mostly. But I'm really looking forward with Raise Your Game to really get involved in a lot of other things. I've talked to quite a few different leaders in esports on LinkedIn and across social media, but truly get that firsthand experience working with and collaborating with others in this industry is super exciting to me.
Awesome. And your excitement is rubbing off of me right now because I'm excited too. This is exciting and it's amazing.
Yes, I'm thrilled and I'm honored to be a part of it.
And it's only gonna go up from here. It's only gonna go up from here because they're saying that esports will be a $1 billion industry by 2020.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Do you have any additional comments, advice, or anything you want to say to the gaming and esports community around the world?
You know, just as to reiterate, some of the topics that I've already mentioned, but that success is through hard work. Success is through networking, talking to people. Success is stepping outside your comfort zone. Success is asking for what you want. And sometimes you're going to get turned down, and sometimes people aren't going to see your value yet. And you have to keep persisting, right? I mean,
Right.
the most successful entrepreneurs in the world failed so many times before they found their success. I mean, even Michael Jordan failed so much before he found his success. Everyone that ever makes a name in the world, in business, in anything, they had to fail quite a few times before they were able to be successful. So you just have to keep pushing. You have to keep trying and just truly be authentic in everything that you do and have integrity in everything that you do because this space is so state of the art. It is so has such a huge growth right now. Yeah, 2020, 1 billion. 2022, 2.3 billion is what is projected for the esports industry. And that kind of growth in an industry is unheard of. And it's really, really, truly amazing.
Yeah, and if you don't mind me asking, like, where do you see yourself and the vision that you have for Race Your Game Esports 5 years from now?
Yeah, in 5 years, we're going to completely revolutionize everything. 5 years. I mean, I can't give too much away. It's all secrets. You guys have to wait and watch.
Oh yes, everybody wait and watch. Some more awesome things are coming. It's gonna be
Yeah,
amazing.
absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jessica, for doing our podcast this morning. It was a pleasure talking to you, and it's amazing what you have going on for you. It's beautiful. Thank you very much for spending time with us today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Bowie. Thanks for the great questions and for being so hyped. You
Yes,
make it
I am hype
easy.
because esports is all about the hype. It's all about the excitement, and it's all about the passion and the enthusiasm that we can have to revolutionize this industry.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you guys for watching. This is Bowie Abiola and Jessica Kitchen at Raise Your Game Esports signing out.